Good afternoon to all of you. Court will note that this matter is before the court on the complaint of Miss Wells seeking custody of the minor child, Jaden Dwayne Evo Mansfield, in this particular case. Miss Wells, are you ready to proceed?
It's actually Tracy.
Oh, Tracy.
Yeah, she's the plaintiff. There are two defendants.
Oh, okay. I see that. Okay. I'm sorry, Miss Gillum, are you ready to proceed?
Yes, I am, sir.
Okay. And Mr. Mansfield, are you ready to proceed?
Yes.
And Miss Wells?
Yeah.
Okay. Miss Gillum, do you wish to make an opening statement or proceed to proofs?
You said proceed to
Proofs are where you present testimony from yourself or witnesses or exhibits, etc. You can make an opening statement though if you wish to.
What is witness? What is what? You get to have witnesses and all of that?
Yep. This is the trial in the matter. So if you have witnesses, they have to be here today to present any testimony.
Wow. I was unaware of that.
Well, when you got the notice, it said it was notice for trial, so. Ms. Gillum, do you wish to make an opening statement or present, at that point, present your witnesses?
Yes, sir.
Well, yes, to which one? It was an either or question.
I'm sorry. I have witnesses.
Okay, so you wish to waive your opening statement?
No, I would like to make a statement.
Okay, go ahead.
I've had Jaden since he's come out of the hospital. He had a rough go right after he was born. He was released from the hospital at 6 months old. At that time, they were not going to release him to Dion or my daughter Catherine because they were unstable and didn't have a place of their own.
He was a year old when he was released from the hospital.
Hold on, sir, you'll have an opportunity to speak. Don't interrupt someone else, okay? Go ahead, ma'am.
So I stepped in and said, well, before anybody else, the state or whoever steps in, I'm grandmother, I'm going to step in and he will come to me. And I've had Jaden ever since he's been out of the hospital. I follow every doctor's rule, make sure he goes to every doctor's appointment. When he's sick, there's a lot that goes with Jaden. And I just make sure that everything is done the way it's supposed to be. He has a home nurse that comes 5 days a week. If he gets sick, my work works with me. I can take off and take him to the hospital, whatever needs to be done. They're fully cooperative and understanding. Jaden, he has a lot of physical impairments. He has some mental things going on, and to remove him from where he's been all his life would be not good for Jaden. Jaden is on a schedule. He doesn't like change. Jaden does not like change, and I think anybody and everybody can tell you that. And just it would be detrimental, for me not to have custody for Jaden.
Okay, anything else, ma'am?
No, sir.
Okay. Mr. Mansfield, do you wish to make an opening statement, or you can reserve your opening statement, or you can waive your opening statement?
I'm just wondering what him being with her since he's been alive what does that have to do with her having custody? I'm okay with her having guardianship of him, but there's no need. What is even the need for the custody part? Because she can have him and do everything she's been doing with him without having to have custody of him. It has not been an issue, no medical problems, no appointments, no, she's been able to do everything she needs to do with Jaden. So what is the point of her having, like, what was that even requested for?
Well, you
Because
have,
she's been fine.
a person has a right to request custody, and she's done that. So that's why is we're addressing it, because she has made that request and filed a complaint for custody.
Okay, well, I want to fight that.
Okay.
I refuse to give up custody. I'm okay with, I have 50-50 custody of 2 of my other children. I'm okay with sharing custody of, there's no way I'm just going to give her custody of my son.
Okay.
Like, that's not an option.
Okay. Anything else?
No, sir.
Okay. Ms. West, do you wish to make an opening statement, reserve your opening statement, or waive your opening statement?
I wish to make a statement.
Okay.
So like honestly, I just disagree with Deanne in the whole matter. I understand why my mom wants full custody, and she deserves full custody. If that's what she wants, then she deserves it. It also makes it a lot easier. She's made points across to me about doctor's appointments, because there's a lot what comes with doctor's appointments and prescriptions and this and that, and guardianship only lasts so long, you know, and I certainly think that she deserves custody. If that's what she wants, and she can do that, because she's always been there, you know, as far as when I couldn't have been there for Jaden when it come time to take him home and stuff. She's always been there, and I appreciate that. So I think she, you know, if that's what she wants, then it's not really changing anything. It's not like she has, you know, Deanne might feel like she might have a hold over his head, but I mean, at the end of the day, she still has our son.
Can I
With
speak?
the whole custody,
No, you cannot interrupt, sir.
maybe not like a hold, but you know, it's just, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I feel like she just deserves custody. I don't want to.
Okay.
She's had him since he lives there with her, so it's just like, it makes everything a lot easier too, because I've had to fill out a few paperwork, because I've had to sign some things because she couldn't, because of doctor's appointments, because I'm the mom and she doesn't have custody. So it makes things a little complicated when it comes to the medical stuff. So I guess that's my statement.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Gillum, do you want to call your first witness, or do you wish to give testimony?
I can do both, right?
Yes, yeah, at any point. I'm just saying you have a choice. You can testify first and have your witnesses, or you can have your witnesses and then you testify. It's up to you.
I would like to call my first witness,
Okay, and who would that be?
Julie Dearman.
Okay,
All right, I'm bringing her in.
They'll let you out.
Just a moment.
okay.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Ms. Dearman.
Just in your own words, you know everything basically that's gone on in Jaden's life. Just, tell them everything that goes on with Jaden, what I've had to do, just.
Okay.
And why I should have custody.
Okay. Like my daughter said, she's had Jaden since he's came home from the hospital. When my husband and I, before she had the nurse, had to learn how to give medicines, give shots, hook him up and unhook him. There's a lot with Jaden. He does not like change. He knows Katie or Catherine is his mother, and he knows Dion is his dad, but he's real clingy to my daughter, Tracy. Is there anything else that you would like me to say or ask me, Tracy? And there has been times when my husband and I have had to take him to the hospital because he's been running a fever. If he gets a fever over, I think it's 103 or 101, Jaden has to go directly to the hospital.
Mm.
Okay,
Hello?
yeah, go, we're just waiting for Ms. Gillum if she has other questions.
Okay.
I think that's it.
Okay. Well, let me, before we do that, then, Ms. Dearman, just advise me if you would, could you explain the relationship between Ms. Gillum and Jaden?
There is a very close relationship. Like I said, he knows that Catherine is his mother and he loves her dearly. But when push comes to shove, he wants his grandmother. Like I say, he does not like change. If you move his room around, he does not like that. He'll ask why it's moved. And it would just be devastating to him if they took him out of this house.
Okay.
Your Honor, I have a quick question.
You'll have a chance to ask questions after Ms. Gillum's done.
And that's all I have for.
Okay. Okay, Ms. Dearman, you're obviously you're the grandmother in this particular matter. Is that correct?
I'm the great grandmother. I'm Tracy, sir. Sir,
Okay. And have you seen Ms. Gillum provide all of the material needs, necessities, food, clothing, medical care, et cetera, to Jaden?
yes, sir. She makes sure that he has everything that he needs, all his appointments, all his medicine changes. He goes to school, everything.
Okay. And what does, based upon what you've observed, does it appear that Miss Gillum's home is a stable, satisfactory environment?
Yes, it is, sir.
Okay. And what do you observe that brings you to that conclusion?
They provide for him. There is not a lot of conflict, no arguing, no loud noises. Jaden does not like loud voices. It's clean. He has everything provided, bed, food.
Okay. Okay, anything else that you can think of, ma'am, that you would like the court to be aware of?
Not that I can think of at the
Okay.
moment, sir.
Okay. Mr. Mansfield, do you have any questions of this?
Okay, I have a couple things. First off, how is she able to be there?
Sir, this is your chance to question,
Okay.
not to make a
That is a
statement.
question. That is a question. She's able to sit there in the room with her daughter and tell her what to say on camera. Like she can do. I want a lawyer. I feel like I'm getting railroaded. I had no idea that I was able to have witnesses, my family come, none of that. It's just all them completely against me. Like
Okay.
she was just in there and told her to tell her that the house is clean and all that. How is she able to do that to somebody that you're questioning? Like she's telling her what to say. That's
Okay.
not what?
Well, I don't think they're in the same room because
Oh,
they
they're in
would
the
not.
same household. They're most definitely in the same household. When you was questioning her on that last question, and you asked her to say why, Tracy was in the background and told her to say the house is clean and like what? How is she able
Well-
to tell Julie what to say?
Okay. Do you have a question of this witness?
I want to adjourn this and get a lawyer.
Well, you had a right to have an
Lawyer.
attorney. The
I'm
trial has
requesting a
already
lawyer.
started. I'm not going to adjourn the trial. You had notice of the trial, and we're going to proceed.
So I can't get a lawyer. That's what you're telling me? I
That's
just can't have a lawyer.
you can't get an attorney when the trial is already commenced. Yes.
I didn't understand that I could even have witnesses, an attorney, or none of that. I didn't understand. I didn't get none of that.
Well,
So now
that's
it's
part
just, okay.
that's
Now
part of
they
the
all
trial
against me and you
process.
just get to give her custody of my son.
You
That's how that works?
you did receive notice of the trial, sir. Isn't that correct?
No, I did not receive notice of the trial. That's why I texted Tracy today and asked her the meeting information and all of that because I did not receive none of that. And I have text to prove. I just asked her today what the meeting number was and all that because I didn't receive that. And I told Tracy that as well. And now all of a sudden I don't have the right to get a lawyer. I just get whatever they got against me and you get to judge it on that. That's not fair. Not at all.
Well,
Because none
sir,
of my
in this
family's here to say anything.
court would note in this matter that you were defaulted back on May 8, 2023, because you did not respond to the
I didn't receive no
complaint.
papers. I didn't receive no papers.
Well, you were
If I received the papers, I would have knew the meeting number and all. I texted Tracy today for that because I was unaware of that, not because it didn't come to my house.
okay. Just a
And-
second.
I want to take I refuse to give up custody of my child. There's
We've
no
already,
reason.
we've already got, okay, sir, you've already said that. You don't need to be redundant. I've already got that noted. Do you have any questions of this witness?
No, what am I supposed to ask her witness?
You can ask her any questions you'd like. That's,
I don't have no I don't have
Okay.
a question for her.
okay. No questions? Fine. Ms. West, do you have any questions of this witness?
It's Wells. And
I'm
no,
sorry, Ms. Wells. Sorry.
I don't.
Okay, just give me a moment. I'm just pulling up the file here to check something out. Okay. Sir, I'm looking at the summons in this matter, and it shows an acknowledgement of service in which you were served with the complaint, summons and complaint on February 20, 2023 at 5:30, and it has your signature. Did you not in fact sign that, sir?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so you do acknowledge service in this matter?
Yep.
Okay.
So she just able to just get custody of my son just like that? Like it's that easy?
Well, it's not that easy. What we're doing is we're going through the trial, and that's.
And there's
Sir-
nobody fighting against her.
Sir,
The
just
mother of Jaden is not.
to confirm, if you would, confirm your address, sir.
20.
That is the address on which the notice to appear for trial was sent to, and it was sent out on May 10, 2023. So you did have service of the notice of the trial in this matter. Court will make that determination. Okay. Okay. Thank you, ma'am. It looks like there are no other witnesses or there are no other questions for you. You're excused, and you have a good day.
Thank you, sir. You
Okay.
also.
Okay, Ms. Gillum, your next witness.
I would like Nancy.
And Nancy what?
I can't pronounce her last name. Starts with a B.
Please unmute.
She's my home nurse.
Right.
Vicene?
Yes.
Well, maybe Miss. What I'll do is ask you how to pronounce your name so we don't keep getting it wrong, ma'am. How do you pronounce it?
Nancy Vazina.
Vicina. Okay.
Vazina, yes.
Okay. Ms. Vicina, we're going to have you raise your right hand and be sworn in, and then we'll take some testimony from you.
Okay.
Ma'am, do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Ms. Gillum, you can ask any questions you like of Ms. Vicina.
Nancy, I know you've been with us, since the winter, and just basically in your own words, just tell them, what you observed and why you think I should have custody of Jaden.
Okay. I came to work here in November,
And where is here?
here at Tracy Gillum's home, where Jaden Mansfield resides.
Okay.
And he is a pediatric case with high risk of for him, especially because he is very low weight. So he is at high risk for losing if he does not receive tube feedings at night and G-tube feedings in the daytime, along with anything you could get him to eat. He has had line infections that I'm sure came when he was at school and touching everything and then touching himself and wound up with some viruses. So he wears a mask when everyone else doesn't. So his needs are increased by his medical issues. He receives injections and he receives flushes through his lines I've been here, I work 8 to 4, Monday through Friday. He's very attached to Tracy. I think if anything happened to Tracy, I don't think he would know what to do with himself. Because when I get here, he wants to know what time I'm leaving and what time is grandma coming home from work. And she calls him every day at noon to talk to him. And she provides for him all of the medications she picks up from several pharmacies. She orders all of his supplies from different providers that he receives them from. And yeah, he has a nice bedroom, is a nice bed. And she provides all the clothing that I've seen. I've not seen anyone outside of his mom that have brought clothes at Christmas time. And like I say, his attachment with his grandmother, when we go to doctor's appointments, he stays right with his grandmother. When we go to the hospital, when he's been admitted, he wants grandma to stay the entire time. That's not always possible. He has a drink that is not paid for by insurance, and she provides that. And because he only wants to eat, not wants to, but it's been a habit, he eats only bacon and chicken nuggets, and he knows grandma's providing that daily. So she meets his needs and his wants.
Okay. Anything else, ma'am?
I can't think of what else. I mean, I provide what she doesn't provide when she's not here. She gives him a lot of support. She's been up on things better than most. This is not my first pediatric case, nor is it my first home care case. And between her and the grandmother, the grandfather, and the great-grandfather and great-grandmother, they provide a lot of support to Jaden. And they provide a lot of love of what I've observed.
And just question, you say they provide, well, in this case, Miss Gillen provides love. How does she exhibit that?
She hugs him, they kiss, they play together. He rubs her face, she rubs his face. They sleep together on the couch sometimes if he's not feeling comfortable. Just, they do the things that probably, let me see how I want to word this. They do things in a connective way that is not unhealthy. It's very healthy. She provides that reassurance to him that he doesn't get otherwise.
Okay. Let me ask you, do you believe that the plaintiff's home is a stable, satisfactory environment?
I do.
Okay.
It's very peaceful here for him to grow. He's aware of the limits and the boundaries that of where he can go inside and outside. He understands yes and no, and yeah, it's a stable environment.
And again, when was the date that you said you began to work?
I'm gonna say November 16th. I believe it was.
2022?
Yes.
Okay. And you said you work 8 to 4. Is that how many days a week?
5 days a week.
Okay. Anything else, ma'am, that you would like me to be aware of?
I want to just say for the record, I'm sure his mother and father both love him. But I'm also sure that the place for him to be is at Tracy's home. I don't deny that his parents don't both love him. I just don't think either one of them are really in a place in their life to give to him what Tracy does.
Can I speak?
No, not at this point. Okay. Ms. Gillum, any more questions of Miss Vecina?
No, sir.
Okay. Mr. Mansfield, do you have any questions of this witness?
Nope. I have a question. The only one I want to talk to is you, sir. I don't want to talk to nobody else. I don't have no questions for anybody else.
Okay. Okay, Ms. Wells, do you have any questions of this witness?
No, sir.
Okay. Ma'am, that will conclude your testimony then. You're excused and thank you. You have a good day.
Thank you.
Ms. Gillum, next witness. Ms. Gillum? I think you froze up on us. Okay, Ms. Gillum, do you have another witness?
I do. My husband.
Why is she already won? What does she need more witnesses for? It's 40 against 1. The only one fighting for Jaden.
Sir, she has a right to. She has a right, sir. She has a right to call witnesses for her case. She can call.
She's able to call 20 people against me, just only me.
Sir,
she can call 50 people.
Sir, I'm gonna mute you if you can't. Okay. She has a right to call witnesses. So, Ms. Gillum, who's the witness?
My husband, Scott Gillum.
Okay.
Please unmute Mr. Gillum. There he is.
Okay, Mr. Gillum, we're going to take some testimony from you. So if you would raise your right hand, we'll have you sworn in, then we'll proceed.
Okay. Sir, do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, Ms. Gillum, go ahead. You can ask any questions you'd like.
Well, I basically just tell them, you know, what not only me, but you have observed. Observed, you know, through having Jaden, basically what we've been through medically with him, whether it's doctor's appointments, hospitalizations.
Okay, why don't we break that down and do it in individual topics then, ma'am, because you're hitting a lot of things, so.
I'm sorry.
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. Basically, right now, just let them know.
Who's Miss Wells?
Yeah, we lost her.
Sorry.
Well, just
You
ask
know, what we-
one
what
question
we-
at a time. Okay,
Okay.
just one topic at a time, let's say.
Just let them know what we go through on a daily basis with Jaden.
Well, I mean, we do have a nurse that stays here till 4 with him, but once we get home from work, you know, we're with him till, you know, 7 o'clock the next morning. And he has problems sleeping. He's usually up at least 2 times in the middle of the night. He'll start yelling your name through the monitor. So you usually have to get up anywhere from 2 to usually around 2 and then 4 o'clock. You wake up and go check on him and make sure everything's all right. I'm not sure what else, but
And trying to think. You know, besides that, you know, medically, when he has to go to the hospital and doctor's offices, you know.
yeah, it's always you. You're the one that takes him. Sometimes your dad will stay up there with him at the hospital, but the father or the mother don't go up there and check on him or anything like that, or they don't go up there and stay with him. It's always pretty much you and your dad pretty much every time. If he has to stay the night or the doctor's appointments, you're the ones that take them.
Stupid as fuck.
And I guess I don't have any more questions for you.
Okay,
Already lied. What's the point?
Mr. Gillum, if you could explain the relationship between Jaden and your wife.
Basically, she is his total caregiver. I mean, from the time she gets home from work till the time she puts him to bed at 9, she does all his medications, which is a lot. He has to have morning medications. He has to have nightly medications. He has to be on medications, you know, during the night. So like sometimes his pumps will go off in the middle of the night. You can hear him beeping. She's got to get up and make sure the pumps are running correctly or reposition him in bed so there's not a kink in any of the cords or anything like that. And he is on a lot of medications. I really don't know how she remembers them all and make sure that she's always, you know, picking them up on time, you know, calling them in, making sure that they have it when they're supposed to have it. And she makes sure he doesn't go without anything, pretty much.
Okay. Sir, could you explain a little bit of Jaden and your wife's interaction when they're together, things they do, stuff like that?
Well, they're always playing. Every night we will take him for a walk. We walk down to either the cemetery and walk him around, because that also helps him sleep, because he'll get out and we'll just start jogging. He'll chase me around. And anywhere we go, when we go to the store, we always take him to the store, and he loves to do that. Even if we don't have to get anything, he'll be like, Grandma, let's go to the store. Let's go to the store. So they'll go to the Dollar General or whatever, and get a small toy or anything like that. Or she takes him down here because we live right next to Prairie View School.
Yeah, she's got 20 witnesses.
She'll take him down to the playground and let him play.
Okay. Anything else, sir?
I'm not sure. I just know that nobody loves that little kid more than my wife. And he doesn't, and his grandma is his whole world. And that's about all I can say.
Okay. Okay. Mr. Mansfield, any questions of this witness? Mr. Mansfield, do you have any questions of this witness?
Nope.
Okay, thank you.
When can I talk?
When Ms. Gillum is done with her case, then you'll have a opportunity to present yours and testify if you wish. Ms. Gillum, any other witnesses?
No, sir.
Would you like to testify, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay. Ma'am, we'll have you raise your right hand and be sworn in.
We should excuse him, Mr. Gillen.
Yeah, Mr. Gillum, you're excused, and
Thank you.
you have a good day.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Now, ma'am, do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Go ahead, ma'am. Tell me what you would like me to be aware of.
Just that when Jaden was in the hospital and I took this on as a grandmother, because I didn't want nothing to happen to Jaden. It was supposed to be everybody. It was supposed to be mom, the dad. It was supposed to be everybody because of everything that is going on with Jaden. And it was originally supposed to be only until Dion and Katie got their own place, because at the time they were living with my mom and dad. So it was supposed to be, I said, I will care for Jaden. I will do everything that I can do, until you guys get stable, which I thought, okay, a few months went by, still not stable. A year went by, still not stable. Then Katie got pregnant again with Aaliyah. It's been 4 years or 5 years, 5.5 years. And I chose to turn my life and for Jaden. You know, I don't, you know, get to go out and have like a date night with my husband every once in a while. I don't get to go just like the mom and dad does. You know, I don't know what they think, you know, that they don't have a son besides the other two children that needs them. That hurts me, but I've stepped up and I'm doing everything that I can do in my power to show Jaden love. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's hard.
She the one
Okay.
crying. I said she
Sir,
the one. She's crying.
Sir, don't interrupt. You'll have your chance to ask questions.
I was talking to my grandfather, sir.
Okay. Well, then mute yourself when you're talking to someone else so we don't hear it.
You know, they were supposed to step up as parents and do what they were supposed to do for Jaden, and they didn't. And that's when my husband and I stepped up. You know, we changed our whole lives around for our grandson because we knew what care and stuff that he had to have. And, you know, when Jaden has to go to the hospital, he's not just in the hospital overnight. He's in the hospital 3, 4, 5, almost 2 weeks at a time. It just depends on what's going on with him. And on my one hand, I can count, was it last summer, 2 Easters ago, he got sick. He started running a fever. He needed to go to the hospital. Katie and Dion were both here. I said, you know, I was starting a new job. I said, I need you guys to take him up there. And they both did. I think Dion stayed one night, and then Katie stayed, I think, 3 nights. And since then, you know, they don't, you know, and I was always good about contacting both of them. Hey, you know, Jaden's in the hospital, or, you know, Jaden had to go to the ER, or, you know, but when Katie does keep in contact, Katie is in and out. She's not stable. She's in and out. She comes here, she visits. Yes, she does, quite frequently. So he does get to see his mama. And when it comes to Dion, you know, I'll call, hey, you want to have your son for the day? You know,
Never.
He doesn't.
Hold on. Hold 1 second. Mr. Mansfield, do not interrupt. It is not
Really,
your
it don't
time.
even matter, man. I'm
Sir,
gonna lose anyway. It don't matter.
if you're going to continue, we will have you
All you gonna do is mute
muted.
me.
We
All you
will
gonna do is
have you
mute me.
muted, sir.
So what?
Okay, mute him.
Okay.
Go ahead, ma'am.
You know, my husband knows, Katie knows, I've contacted Dion several occasions, you know, hey, you want to have your son for the day? And, you know, there was a few times that he took Jaden, but it's always, you know, he's calling me or texting me. He wants to come home. All he keeps saying is, where's Grandma TT? He wants to come home. Well, as a parent, and he doesn't, like everybody had said, he knows who Dion is, but he's not close to Dion. He doesn't have that relationship. And, you know, Dion doesn't ever call my house or my phone. I have his number in my phone. We have each other on Facebook. So there's contact there. He knows how to contact me. I don't ever get any phone calls saying, hey, can I talk to Jaden? Or, hey, how's Jaden doing? Nothing. Or, hey, can I take Jaden for the day? Nothing. And, you know, and I'm sure Jaden's getting to the age, he's 5.5. He's starting to ask questions, you know. As a grandmother, I'm thinking about this already. You know, what am I going to say to him? I'm not going to lie to him. I'm not going to sugarcoat things. You know, so I try to protect Jaden the best that I can and make sure he has the care that he needs. And it just, it hurts me that my daughter and his dad are more in his life than what they are. It shouldn't be like that, especially with a child like Jaden. It shouldn't be like that. And it hurts so bad, it hurts me. I'm sorry. So I try to be what they're not. And that's all I have to say. I'm
Okay.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you. You can unmute Mr. Mansfield, see if he has any questions.
Okay. Please unmute Mr. Mansfield.
Mr. Mansfield, we're going to give you an opportunity to question Ms. Gillum if you wish to do so. You'll have to unmute.
I said, I got nothing to say.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Ms. Gillum, does that conclude your case?
Yes.
Okay. I will note for the record that it's been some time, but Ms. Wells did in fact fall off and has not attempted to come back on, so.
Yeah, she don't care. She don't take care of none of her kids.
Okay, sir, I'm putting something on the record. I don't need your comments at this point.
Nah.
So she has dropped off and has been off for some time and has not come back on. So, Mr. Mansfield, do you have any evidence that you'd like to present?
No. What can I say? She come with all them people and nobody was even saying that her home wasn't safe, home wasn't clean. Oh, that I want to take him from the crib. None of that was ever said. But that's the only thing that was stated against me is that, oh, Jaden said, yeah, sure, but that does not mean she's got to have full custody of my son, period. And from the start of it, I was seeing Jaden a lot. And then when me and her daughter would get into arguments.
Hold on, sir. Sir, if you're going to give testimony, I need to have you sworn in. So if you would raise your right hand and be sworn in.
Sir, do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yep.
Okay, go ahead, sir. What would you like to tell me?
I was not saying that I feel Jaden's the best interest of Jaden is for him to leave Tracy. I never stated that. Never, not one time. He is in a good spot. She does do a lot. She stepped up and did the shit that Katie wouldn't do. And Scott stepped up and did the stuff that I wasn't doing. Yeah, I admit that, but that don't mean that he just get to get full custody of my son. No, my mama's had my oldest son for 7 years and she don't have custody of my son. She's only got guardianship. So there was no need for her to even come to court and just try to get full custody for what? You already got me for child support and don't need no help. Like what? I don't even get to see the boy. Like She can put it all on me. All she had to do was tell them what to say, and now, oh, the script is read. Now it's all against me. The mama is so worthless. She's not trying to say that Jaden tried to get for none of her rights or none. I'm the only one here. Like, I'm not just gonna give up my rights. I'm not. I refuse. If I got to spend $10,000 on a lawyer to make sure I got my rights, it's what it is. I'm not gonna give up my rights for my son. I can't believe she even filed that. She went completely behind custody when she needed her filed for custody. Nothing. There wasn't no doctors. Nothing. There was no nothing. It was just her wanting to have full custody of him.
Okay. Anything else, sir?
No, I want a
Okay.
lawyer. I
Okay.
feel like I'm getting just guy.
Okay.
And
Well,
no matter what I say,
the court does not provide lawyers in custody cases, so that would be something you'd have to do on your own.
I didn't ask for y'all to get me a lawyer. I'll buy my own lawyer. But I
Okay.
want a lawyer in this case.
Okay. Any other testimony or evidence,
No.
sir?
Nope.
Okay. That will
I just got
conclude
one other thing to
the,
say. If you're gonna grant her custody, will you take me off child support? Why do I gotta pay $250 a month in child support?
okay. That will conclude Mr. Mansfield's proofs in this particular matter. And Ms. Wells, again, has left, so she's not here. I'll ask Ms. Gillum, do you have any closing argument that you'd like to make?
I just, sir, I want what's best for Jaden, for his
What's best for
well-being,
Jaden? That's stupid as fuck.
for his well-being, for his mental and physical well-being. And, like I tried to tell Dion, I am not the one that pushed to get
Having full custody of him does not affect.
Sir, do not interrupt.
Fuck that.
Please mute Mr. Mansfield again. Go ahead, ma'am.
I did not push to get full custody. It was the courts when I was doing what do you call it? Guardianship once a year, and I turned in my paperwork and they denied me and pulled us into court. And at that point, that judge said that they're looking for more permanency, that guardianship was just temporary, and that I needed to either go for custody or adopt Jaden. And I wasn't going to adopt and take that away, take the rights like that away from the parents. But so that's when I said, well, I'll go for full custody.
Okay. Anything else, ma'am?
He just doesn't understand that. He thinks it's all me, and it's not. And that's all that I have.
Okay. We'll unmute Mr. Mansfield, and he can give a closing argument if he wishes to do so.
Okay. Please unmute, sir.
My closing argument is Tracy Gillum, you will not see Hayden or Aaliyah ever again. And I already got 50-50 custody of them, so you can't do shit about it. That's all I got to say.
Okay.
And I'm
Thank
not
you.
paying no child support for Jaden ever. I'll quit my job before I give you $1.
Okay.
Period.
Okay. Well, in this
We'll
particular
never see
matter,
them kids again.
okay. Anything else, sir?
Nope.
Okay, thank you.
Take me off child support, please. Since you're gonna grant her custody of my baby, I shouldn't have to pay for him, right?
Okay.
Right. Mute me, huh?
Yes, we're going to mute you again, sir,
Give a
because
fuck.
you're done
can't-
and you keep talking, so we're muting you. Okay. In this particular matter, the court's heard the testimony today. The court notes that in custody cases are governed by the best interest of the child test as delineated under the Child Custody Act, being MCL 722.23. the court will address all of those factors in the future or as we go ahead. The first task, however, in a custody case is to determine whether there is an established custodial environment. An established custodial environment exists if over an appreciable time, the child naturally looks to the custodian in that environment for guidance, discipline, necessities of life, and parental comfort. If an established custodial environment exists, the court cannot change that established custodial environment unless presented by clear and convincing evidence. And the court is required to take into account, again, the age of the child, the physical environment, the inclination of the custodian and the child as to the permanency of the relationship, as well as other particular factors. In this particular case, the testimony of the plaintiff's witnesses in this matter will show that, again, she has provided the care, if you would. She's provided a physical environment to Jaden. He is just over 5 at this point. He has resided with the plaintiff his entire life since he was out of the hospital after approximately 6 months, and he's resided in her care. There's been testimony, which we'll get into a little bit later, about the love and affections exhibited between Jaden and the plaintiff in this particular case, and it does appear that they have a close relationship in this matter. As a result, the court will find in this particular case that the established custodial environment does exist in the home of the plaintiff in this case. And as a result, because the established custodial environment exists, that she only needs to establish by a preponderance of evidence that it is in Jaden's best interest that, in fact, that he remain in her custody. In this particular case, the court has to review the factors under the Child Custody Act. The first is the love, affection, and other emotional ties existing between the parties involved and the child. There's been testimony of Ms. Dearman in this case that the plaintiff and Jaden do have a close relationship. Testimony as well that he loves his mother, that he loves his father in this matter, but that based upon the testimony that he has a very close relationship with the petitioner. There was testimony as well of Nancy Vecina in this matter, who is apparently the nurse that comes into the home, has been doing that since November of 2022. She comes in 5 days a week from 8 to 4 p.m. That she has testified that Jaden is a pediatric case that is at high risk, that he requires various 2 feedings at night. He requires a GI feeding, and she had testified about the injections that he has to have as well. She testified that Jaden is very attached to the plaintiff, that in fact plaintiff calls him every day at noon, that the again that they have a loving relationship. She testified how, again, they exhibit hugs, kisses, they play together, that Jaden will rub the plaintiff's face, she likewise will rub his, that they sleep on the couch together as well. Based upon the testimony in this matter, as well as the testimony of the plaintiff telling about the loving relationship she has, the court will find that this factor does favor the plaintiff grandmother or great grandmother in this case, or grandmother. Next factor is the capacity and disposition of the parties involved to give the child love, affection, guidance, and continuation in the education, raising the child in a particular religion or creed. There's been no testimony about any religious upbringing in this matter, so the court will not consider that. Likewise, there's been some reference to school in this matter, although not much. However, it does appear in this matter that the testimony has been of the plaintiff that she has attempted to get the defendants involved in Jaden's life that she has contacted them about taking him, and that in fact, oftentimes that has been non-existent or limited in this matter. There's testimony about not only her capacity, but her disposition to give Jaden love, affection, guidance, and as a result, the court will find that that factor does favor the plaintiff in this matter. Next factor is the capacity and disposition of the parties involved to provide food, clothing, medical care, and other remedial care in lieu of any medical care and other material needs. The testimony again of the Ms. Dearman, Ms. Vecina, as well as the plaintiff herself, and Mr. Gillum, is that they provide for those daily material needs, that they are the ones that are providing the medical care, taking Jaden to all of his doctor visits to the hospital. They're the ones that stay at the hospital with him, that in fact, when early on in the case that Jaden had to go in the hospital, that the Mr. Mansfield spent one night at the hospital and Miss Wells spent 3 nights at the hospital, and the other times it was the plaintiff providing the care at that particular time. Again, it does appear that she's provided all the material needs as well as the medical needs. In this case, the court will find that this factor does favor the plaintiff in this matter. Next factor is the length of time the child has lived in an established satisfactory environment and the desirability of maintaining continuity. In this particular matter, again, the testimony has been that Jaden has been with the plaintiff, who pursuant to a probate court order did provide guardianship to Jaden previously, and that has then filed for custody in this particular matter. The testimony would show that that from all the witnesses that the plaintiff's home is a stable, satisfactory environment, and it appears, again, the testimony of the plaintiff is that she initially felt that her time having Jaden would only be, at first, was only supposed to be for a limited period of months. That in fact, she thought it would be only for a few months, and now it's 5.5 years. She has testified that, again, she's turned a life effectively over to Jaden, doing all of the things to care for him. It's changed her whole life. She testified that, again, she provides that care constantly after work until the next morning. Testifying Mr. Gillum is that, again, Jaden will be on the monitor. He'll call for the plaintiff, and she gets up at night, oftentimes 2 times in the night, and oftentimes other times, and would provide care for Jaden. So the court will find that this factor does favor the plaintiff in this matter. Next factor is the permanency of the family unit, existing or proposed custodial home or homes. There's not been much testimony about this, but there's not been any testimony that the family unit in the plaintiff's home is not permanent. The court will give a slight benefit to the plaintiff on this particular factor. Next factor is the moral fitness of the parties involved. There's been really very little, if any, testimony about this particular factor, so the court will not consider it. Next factor is the mental and physical health of the parties involved. Again, there's been very little testimony about this, so the court will not consider this factor. Next factor is the homeschool and community record of the child. Again, been very little testimony in this matter, as Jaden's only 5.5 years old. He doesn't have any community record, limited school record, and the only record would be the home record. And there was little testimony about that, but it would appear that he does have that home record in the plaintiff's home. The court will give her a slight advantage in this factor. Next factor is the reasonable preference of the child. The court did have opportunity to interview the child in this particular matter, and I'm taking that into consideration in this case. Next factor is the willingness and ability of each of the parents to facilitate and encourage a close and continued parent-child relationship between the child and the other parent. In this matter, testimony of the plaintiff was that she has contacted Mr. Manfield. She's contacted her daughter as well about having them have contact with Jaden, that in fact that contact has been limited, that she's testified that Ms. Wells will come to the house, will see Jaden on more of a frequent time frame than does Mr. Mansfield. That the testimony of Ms. Gillum was that she had in fact contacted Mr. Mansfield a number of times, and he'd only taken Jaden a few times. And on some of those occasions, the testimony was that she would be contacted about getting Jaden back. And that, again, Mr. Mansfield is not contacted him by phone to speak to him in this matter. As a result, the court will find that Ms. Gillum has attempted to facilitate, encourage a close and continued parent-child relationship, and the court will weigh that in her favor. Next factor is domestic violence. There's been no testimony about any domestic violence, so the court will not consider that factor. Next factor is any other factor considered by the court to be relevant in the particular dispute. In this matter, the court does consider relevant in this particular matter that, in fact, Jaden, as Ms. Messina has testified, he's a high-risk pediatric case, that he needs substantial amount of medical attention. The testimony of Mr. Gillum was that, Ms. Gillum provides all the medication, the medical treatments, feedings, etc., as necessary in this matter. And as a result, the court is taking all of that into consideration in the testimony of all of the witnesses for purposes of this case, and finds that those other factors do favor the plaintiff in this matter. As a result, after listening to all the testimony, the court finds not only by a preponderance of evidence that is in the best interest of Jaden that he remain in the plaintiff's care and custody, but the court finds, based upon the testimony, that the plaintiff has established that by clear and convincing evidence, and that is not really disputed in this matter based upon the testimony presented. As a result, the court will grant to the plaintiff the legal and physical custody of Jaden in this matter, and that the court will order Ms. Gillum that you would provide the appropriate custody order in this matter. I don't know if you've worked with a service such as MichiganLegalHelp.org. If so, you can get on that service, and they have orders that you can, again, utilize for purposes in this matter. I will tell you what you have to do is you'll have to send that order to the front of the court and get their approval, and then you'll have to, at that point, schedule it up for the court for entry, okay?
Okay, so what form is it?
Tracy, you will never see Hayden and Aaliyah again. Know that.
Okay.
You will never see.
Please mute Mr. Mansfield again. Okay. It's a custody order. You're going to have to do a custody order, ma'am.
Okay, get it off the legal help.
Yeah, MichiganLegalHelp.org.
Okay.
Court will note that Mr. Mansfield did just leave the hearing in this matter. We did mute him as he was getting very irate and yelling, and was getting, again, very animated in his, gestures in this case. So he did, in fact, leave the hearing himself. So the court cannot turn to him and ask if he has anything else additionally. Yes. Go to MichiganLegalHelp.org, prepare the custody order, provide that to the front of the court. Apparently, from what Mr. Mansfield has stated, there's also a support order in place. You can simply incorporate that, ma'am, if you wish, into the custody order as well. So that's what the court would ask that you would do, so that we have it all in kind of in one order. Okay.
Okay.
It'll be two separate orders. You have an order for custody, and then you'll have a uniform child support order. You can simply have the same order, just presented at that particular time. Okay.
Okay.
And just to clarify, is it sole legal physical?
Yes.
Okay, further, thank you.
Yep. So anything else, ma'am, that you have, or you have any questions?
Just with all the paperwork I've pretty much done all the footwork besides, getting with a guardian ad litem. Well, it's taken a long time, but
All I can say is it does, but it's worth it. So
Oh, please unmute, ma'am. You muted yourself.
you muted yourself.
Yeah, or. There we go.
You must have hit mute. You're still muted, ma'am. We can't hear you.
Her connection is failing.
Yeah, we're having problems in your connection.
okay. Can you hear me now?
Can hear you now, yes.
Yes. So go to the legal help and get that child support order. I have to turn that into the front of the court.
Yeah, I have to get a custody order for
Custody order.
custody.
Uh-huh.
You can simply, because there's been no support order in this case. That would have been as a result of the other matter or a separate support case, okay? Was there a separate support case as you're aware of?
Well, so the state picked this up and basically had me file for child support because Jaden had Medicaid and he was
Okay. What you could do, ma'am, is you could do a custody order and might make this a little easier. You could consolidate that case with this case, okay?
okay.
And then they would be together. So you just need another paragraph referencing the case number of that case, the caption of the case, and consolidating it with this matter.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. If there's nothing else, the court will end this matter at 2:50 p.m. Best of luck to you, ma'am. I hope everything works out, and we'll look forward to getting those orders.